Thank you, sir, for speaking to Oman Economic Review.
Thank you very much, and it's a great pleasure to have you and be with you today here.
Thank you, sir. Can you just start with a bit of an overview of Oman Flour Mills and its operations?
Well, Oman Flour Mills basically caters to the flour industry in Oman and the feed sector in Oman. We always think of ourselves as a food industry and a food producer in the local market. So we focus on everything that is related and around the food industry.
Now, when we look at the country as a national priority, food sufficiency is a major goal for the country. And being one of the largest food-related companies in Oman, how are you contributing towards this priority or this big national goal?
Well, I thank you very much for that question. I think this is a very important question, and we, as Oman Flour Mills, take it on our shoulders to cater to this type of food security and food sufficiency in the local market. If we look at the food security index, Oman is at 34 or 35 on the global scale. We aim, as part of the Vision 2040 in Oman, is to achieve 25, 26 in the global scale. That's very important, so we have to do our part in contributing to providing good quality food, make it available to people, and ensure that it is also affordable to the people.
Sure. And are you going to build upon this, because you're also diversifying your portfolio now into eggs, and you were traditionally in flour, and you've gone into a lot of consumer-driven products. So is that is something? Are you looking into that direction also of diversifying your product portfolio?
Yes, definitely. I mean, yes, we are very well known in terms of when it comes to flour and feed, but we're also expanding our poultry business. We're expanding in the egg through our well-known brand Dana. We're also developing our poultry meat section, which with our fresh chickens in the local market. We are also exporting to the UAE for that. So yes, we are investing. We're expanding Al-Tiyab Food Industries, which was well known as Al-Tiyab Bakery, into a more diversified portfolio to provide various food requirements in the market. We're also looking at developing the mini factories project, which is basically up to $1 million project cost that will cater to specific foods that we currently import from abroad. So we will provide a sort of production facility in Oman that will provide the local requirements, and we will be self-sufficient in that aspect.
Sure. You also by expanding, and you got into a kind of a trilateral joint venture to establish a very big, probably the biggest in egg factories or poultry farms in Ibri. Now that is also helping the country attract foreign direct investment. Can you generally throw some light on that project?
Yes, basically we owned 88% of Modern Poultry Farms, which is Dana Eggs, producing about 500,000 eggs a day. Our partners, IFCO, which is a company based in UAE, also own a farm in the UAE, and we, with the discussions with Gulf Japan Food Fund, we came to a joint agreement, and we have decided to bring all these companies under one umbrella. So the Emirates Poultry Farm, the Modern Poultry Farm here, and a new poultry farm that will be established in Ibri with 1 million eggs per day capacity. Combined, this will be around 2 million eggs per day production, which will be one of the largest productions in the region. So the investment in these two projects in Oman contributed to the FDI that is one of the mandates of Oman and what we are looking at providing for the economy. You
mentioned about the Vision 2040 plan or document that the country is pursuing. And a very important or an integral part of that whole vision statement is to promote in-country value. And I'd like to bring out 2 points in that under that umbrella. One is Omanization, or developing national talent, and secondly, contributing to the economic development of Oman. Now, in what ways is Oman Flour Mills contributing to these big national priorities?
Well, our biggest target and aim was our Omanization target. We have successfully achieved 85% Omanization in Oman Flour Mills, and so that was one aspect of our in-country value. We are working with several SMEs in the local market to be as suppliers for all the services that we require as Oman Flour Mills and our subsidiaries. So we give priority to the SMEs, the local SMEs to compete. We support them at the initial levels. We do a lot of training for graduates. So we go out of the way to do training, and we give almost an opportunity to everyone who approaches us. On the CSR aspect, we target areas which are sort of not really looked at. So our team goes and aggressively tries to identify areas where we can be of some help to the local community in terms of education, in terms of support on the business side through various projects.
Sure. And that's an interesting point you brought up. I think you're doing certain things for community also. As a larger community, you have a responsibility as a good corporate citizen towards the community. How are you serving the community? I mean, the people of the community.
Well, I mean, one of the projects, if I give you an example, is that we're establishing a new sort of garden in one of the interior hospitals to cater to the people visiting the hospitals who are with children, so that they get an opportunity to allow their children to play in that garden while they're getting the services from the hospital. So that was one aspect. We have done a few projects with some of the startups in Muscat specifically, where they are at the beginning of their business journey, and they are basically in need of some support from the community. So we have supported them with their requirements in terms of ingredients for the sale of the foods and products they're selling.
Thank you, Mr. Haitham Al Fannah. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, and thanks yet again for sparing the time to speak to OERLive.